Hi, how is everyone? Gwydion had to take some time off, so he sent me in as a surrogate man. I'm gonna find out where you lovely people really stand. Got a little motif happening here. I call it, I'm gonna seize the means of production. See what I did there? Yeah, all right. Well, shall we continue with the reaction videos? I've come to discover and realize that these are a little out of order. But it's okay. The last two were like, I think July and August, but it was like July, August, July, something like that. So the one where I was putting up the green screen, I think was the last one called, or the last one I did in part 5, which I thought was part 4. This is part 6. Too many numbers all at once. Sorry. Math. The one called The Next Level was where I put up the first few green poster boards of my green screen, and then later you saw me put up all the green poster board, which happened after that, but it was in the video before that, right? But it was basically July, August of 2007. So now we're moving into around that same time, basically. Yeah, all kind of like summer-ish of 2007. All right, let's get started. This first one is called For Gurdjieff. I'll talk more about it afterward. For now, let's just watch.
And now for another edition of our informal fireside chat. Don't let people hypnotize you into doing everything that they say. Remember, like Gurdjieff said, build me an aircraft hangar. Remember not to listen to your ego. It's not important why you do this, only that you stay focused on the task at hand. Don't listen to the voice in your head. Listen to my voice alone. Build the aircraft hangar.
Yeah, so that one, there's a few things happening there. One, as I mentioned before, I was in that old cult. You can hear more about that by listening to this entire podcast. There's only 119 episodes that average about an hour and a half in length, so it should only take you a while. But yeah, the first episode of that one, I kind of lay it out. So basically, yeah, I think it was that August, the cult leader, who I not so lovingly refer to as Voldemort on that podcast, had what he called an informal fireside chat at an event called Power Week. I'm writing a book called The Esoteric Nerd, and I'm debating about whether to call it Power Week or Power Meet. Anyway. And it was like, yeah, well, there were a lot of people. I don't know if it was actually 2007 was the first one. I have to think. Where there was like a lot of gossip, you might say, rumors, cult leaders love to complain about that. When people catch wind of truths and share them with each other, and they contradict the lies and propaganda, They call that rumors, rumor mill, casting aspersions, and other bullshit phrases. And so he wanted to address the rumor mill. So he had, 80 some odd people in the room, put a bunch of candles around in a circle, and he sat in a chair, or maybe even on the floor, just to emphasize. No, I think he was in a folding chair. We were all on the floor. He was in the center. But it was an informal fireside chat, which apparently was a reference to something Roosevelt used to do. Which Roosevelt, I'm not sure, probably the second one, on the radio. So it was we're just going to have a nice fireside chat. Just, huddle up by the fire and turn on the radio and listen to your president, and we'll all, spend the evening together. So with that as a model. And so, people were saying, is it true that, this and that? Well, where did this actually come from? And then, he told the truth about one or two things, or very obviously, weaseled around a few things. And so a lot of people left after that. They didn't stay for the rest of the week. I think that was when Austin left. And anyway, so then, meanwhile, I won't say her name. If you're watching, hello, sending love. Hope you don't mind me talking about this stuff. But yeah, so my Hebrew teacher back then was getting way into Gurdjieff. And I don't know, I know more now than I did then, but I didn't know much about Gurdjieff back then. But I was more cult leader phobic then than I am now, because at the time I was still in the cult. Now I've had some distance, a nice 9 years distance from the whole thing. So, I was right in the thick of it back then. So I was not a fan of Gurdjieff. The more I heard about him, and his use of hypnosis to free people from themselves and all this. And, our old cult leader was into NLP and, mesmerism and hypnotism and all this stuff, and trance and blah, blah, blah. For getting under people's skin and manipulating and controlling on subconscious levels and stuff like that. Maybe you don't. If you don't, thank heaven. However, it might behoove one to know a little bit about it, because it is used on people in the form of advertising and subtle manipulation through the media and even that fucking algorithm. But anyway, anyway, so yeah, she was way into Gurdjieff and having meetings at her house with the Gurdjieff Society. And I remember I came to one, and she invited me to come, and there was this video, I think it was 20 minutes, maybe it was 40, I don't know, that told the story of Gurdjieff and his followers around World War I era, traveling around Europe, and how they built an aircraft hangar, but they didn't have any aircrafts, or they rebuilt one, or I don't remember exactly, but he was talking about don't think about it, just work. Work is meditation, and don't listen to the voice in your head, which is kind of okay, you got a bunch of people working for you, you got this big old mustache, telling them not to listen to the voice in their head because that's the ego. And so what voice are they listening to? The one that's telling them to build the aircraft hangar, so you're building an aircraft hangar. Okay. Maybe there's a subtlety to it that I missed, but yeah, I just so I put the love, truth, and knowledge, because the order I was in, our whole thing was love, truth, and knowledge. That was painted by a dear friend of mine, and that painting is now in the possession of another good friend of mine. But yeah, so I put it up there, put on my black fedora and embodied the Gurdjieff, combination of Gurdjieff and Voldemort, in a mocking way. So that's what that was. All right, moving along. Every so often I make a thing called New Office. In E Burrito, my latest poetry book, there's a poem called New Office. This is my latest New Office. I'm all about new offices. Someday in the next few months, I'll be shifting away from New Delhi. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then I look forward to my next new office. Hopefully it'll last a bit longer than all my previous new offices. But yeah, let's check out new office back then. The 2007, I think there were 2 new offices in 2007. One was at Chris's. Then I stopped paying rent at Chris's because I realized that was ridiculous. And I think he shifted or something happened. And so I set up my new office in my own house, duh, which I didn't live in at the time. It's a long story. All right. That was a good hat. Pontius Pilate. My mom. Yeah, it was a mess. Oh, I got my Nam Yoho Renge Kyo thing hanging up. God, wearing a denim long sleeve shirt. Must have been cold? Maybe it was nighttime. Oh no, I wore that for the video. Oh, that old desk. Yeah, that was like a side table in our old house. My mom built a house in Lake Havasu in 1987 and got all the furniture for it at a very chic, modern furniture store in Pasadena. And so that table was in Lake Havasu for years and then ended up in the house somewhere. And then I adopted it as my desk at one point, and it killed my shoulders. Now the music changed. Oh, I guess it's finished, isn't it? Oh, here's the fun little death sequence. My dad's Buddha in the corner. Vimala Mitra with my dad's ashes in it. Fun, right? So yeah, that table wasn't so good for my shoulders. I used it for years, but when I would work on something for any long period of time, it would just kill my shoulders. This desk is nice. It's an antique. It's actually a desk where that was not a desk, but I made it a desk. All right, let's move on. So this one is called EP, which was an inside joke between me and like 3 other people, because in the cult I was in, EP stood for evil persona. So that was like your shadow self, your own evil nature, right? Now in the entertainment industry, EP stands for entertainment partners. And every year they would throw a little soiree and invite various staffs of various entities which run the machinery of Hollywood, one of which was the Screen Actors Guild, where I worked. So let's hit it. This one I'm going to be cutting out a lot because while I had sort of permission from people back then to put their faces in this, I'm going to go ahead and not do that. But so this will be like sort of Swiss cheese. And I think YouTube has gotten more strict with music. So I think some of the tracks I use will be like fully blocked. So I'll click the option for, tell it to automatically go through and try to pull out the music, but leave my voice. So it'll sound kind of bad. But yeah, so this is the 2007 EP party where I was making like a double meaning about the industry being the evil persona. All right.
Echo!
Did you catch it? guys. I'm gonna leave Bob in. Just cause. You can't see it, it's small. I don't think the facial recognition will know who that is.
Want me to ask you questions?
Yeah, most of this is missing, isn't it? I knew it was gonna, it's like, it's like Swiss cheese, except the holes are where the cheese is, and the cheese is where the holes are. If that makes sense.
Like off the record?
It's time to repent. He asked her to give back the money she spent. My wild love went right in. She wrote to the sea. She gathered together some shells for her head.
We were reprimanded by a guy from Disney.
Should have said, you know what?
Yeah, I should have. A guy from Disney reprimanded me for shooting video footage. And meanwhile, they were breaking all our rules all the time. You know, union rules. God, I went to his 30th birthday party and I was like 25. That means he's 48. Maybe I was 27. How old was I in? I think I was 24. 25? I don't know how old I was. Well, okay, I hadn't had my birthday yet that year, so I was 20.
You shoot a hell of a game of pool, fast Eddie, but you can't beat Minnesota fat.
Fair enough. I have no idea what that was a reference to, but surely he did. So yeah, that one was mostly not there, wasn't it? But gives you a little peek into my life working in the entertainment industry back in the day. For those of you who have taco, the haikus, right? All right, fourth and final. It's called 777. I won't give much description, but this one's going to be a little bit Swiss cheesy as well.
I wish to apologize to Gurdjieff for making fun of you in a roundabout kind of way. I understand you weren't hypnotizing people into following you even the money.
Not much of an apology, is it? I used to think that the lyrics to this were, we're sharing something real, we're sharing something true.
I was way off in my supple accusations and should spend years.
Don't criticize them until you've read.
Before attempting to criticize.
I ended up learning to do that Gurdjieff ballet.
Look after all at what I'm doing. There's gotta be at least 5 of you who are hypnotized and worshiping me, I estimate. So what makes me less pious or more humble than Gurdjieff? You ask? I'm not as much of an asshole.
Surprise scream at the end there. So that one was, obviously it was on the 7th of July, 2007. And it was after I had spoken with my Hebrew teacher about my opinion about Gurdjieff based on the little bit that I had learned at that meeting, the Gurdjieff Society meeting, and sort of responding, repeating in a not very sincere way, straw manning what she had said, and responding to some of what she had said. Like, well, look at what you're doing. You know, like you really can't criticize him until you've read these books. You have to learn his whole system through and through before you can criticize him. That's another one of those fun tactics that fuckers use. Various kinds. Yeah, so I hope you had fun. This isn't really a fun series, is it? But if you're, here on purpose, then you probably know me, in which case, hello. Good to see you. If you're here accidentally and you're still watching, what the fuck? You're still watching? It's like a half hour into it? Did you skip to the end? Oh, that'd be weird. Who knows? But I'll just put this up here for public consumption, and people can make of it what they will or won't, and there it is. Is there anything else I want to say before I close this one? I'll read a little poem, something I wrote a few days ago. It was a longer poem, but I decided to shorten it. I'll read 2 poems. This one I wrote today, 2 hours ago. Unsolicited. Visit the edges of loneliness, the limits of experience. Find ambivalence, exist or no exist. Let go of complexities, persist through desires. Observe chattering, with one eyebrow slightly raised. Relax into serenity. The rest of this life is a gift, not so much an ever-passing, limited temporal thing, more of a, hey, what's this? This is neat. Not void. I can remember some things and make pretty patterns. And with wisdom, remember to avoid celebrityism, the desire to make creations stick or be popular. Do the glass-colored sand mandala thing. You can blast it with your own dorja at the end, just to get used to the idea. That's what's going to be happening anyway. Let go of hope in future lives, whether heaven or reincarnation. Shrug at despair of ceasing to be. Remember not remembering the last time deep sleep. If it's to be not, no one will be there to miss being. So just have fun. Even have fun not having fun. That's my advice. Unsolicited is the title. Here's another poem. I don't think the void is actually staring back, though. That's the thing. We're old friends, but one of us is imaginary. Someone commented, I'm the imaginary one. Nice. Saying they're the imaginary. Anyway. So, yeah, those are actually poems from an upcoming... How can someone click like on this and I can't see who it is? Someone I blocked. Clicked like on the poem that I posted. Right. All right. 'Tis what it is. Those 2 poems will be in my upcoming poetry book. There's the 500 pages of poetry called Taco. There's the 500 pages of poetry called E-Burrito. And probably not anytime soon, but in the future. Here's your reward for sitting through this video. My next poetry compilation is called Hamster Sauce. Until next time.